Guyana is preparing for a busy first half of 2021 with the senior national men's team set to compete in the 2022 World Cup qualifiers and the Gold Cup prelims. However, the Federation has not been able to do much as it relates to keeping players active in the national setup, given the national restrictions on crowding and sport activities. Players have been limited to personal training as they seek to stay in condition for a possible restart. That resumption, though, could take a while as the number of positive cases and deaths continue to rise. Usually, this period is quite busy for local football, and the activities that occurred during the final 2 months of the year could be affected this time around.
But I think what is important to remind everyone is that Guyana is still in the middle of combating a very unprecedented spread of COVID-19 here in Guyana. Apart from that, we also have to keep in mind that there are frontline workers who are putting their lives on the line each and every day in order to ensure that this virus is kept in check. I think it's probably fitting for me to commend those public service workers, the Ministry of Health, the National Task Force, and all the other stakeholders that are engaged in this battle. It is also important for me to say that while football means a lot to us, to the players, to the fans, we have to keep our eyes on the public health and safety, and doing anything that would be considered reckless and can contribute to an exacerbation of the situation as it is not in keeping with the guidance that the GFF would have received from both FIFA, CONCACAF, and also the Caribbean Football Union.
Forde added that while the Federation has been planning and has held discussions with the Minister of Sport, Charles Ramson, a final decision with regards to the resumption of football would only be made after broad-based consultations. The Federation has been very proactive in the fight against COVID-19, reducing its staff count at the Secretariat and encouraging persons to observe the health protocols.
We believe that any decision to play any sort of football in 2020 will have to be the outcome of an extensive consultation process that involves all of the key stakeholders. So we will continue to push towards that end. Our immediate priority, of course, is to get the national team back into training. We are going to be embarking on our 2022 FIFA World Cup qualifier in March, and we are already late in the time it would take to adequately prepare the players.
The Federation had expressed a desire to host its year-end Super 16 Cup featuring the top local clubs. In global team events that have resumed, players and officials have been kept in a biosecure environment with matches played behind closed doors. However, such a scenario would be difficult to replicate in Guyana since gate receipt is a major revenue earner for local football and the majority of players have day jobs, which would rule out the possibility of them undergoing the mandatory quarantine period ahead of games. Reporting for Newsroom, I am Avinash Ramzan.